Ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Most times, people commit one offense or the other due to ignorance and negligence. Some get into one trouble or the other out of ignorance. Wheel of Hope, a human rights advocacy program on Citizens FM 93.7 Abuja, is here to educate you on issues that relate to your fundamental human rights, tenancy agreements, contractual issues, next of kin, and many more. Jide Abdulaziz and his team of legal luminaries will be treating issues that have been giving you stress by providing mediation, intervention, arbitration, and many more. Every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja. Wheel of Hope will improve your citizenship responsibility. Wheel of Hope Human Rights Program on 93.7 Citizen FM. The voice for the voiceless and the oppressed. Don't miss it.
It's a week time, Ekene. How you doing, Abuja? It's week time with Ekene Ezepue, baby. Serving it hard this morning to you. Just sit back, relax. As we have a lot to give you this morning. Information-wise, entertainment-wise, political-wise, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it's sweet time with Ekene Ezepue this morning. How you doing, Abuja? I hope you're having a good time. Hope you are having that moment of your life, trying to cool off, trying to blow off some steam, making sure that you prepare your mind for the next week coming through. All right, Abuja, how you doing? Hope the rain and the end of the rain, actually, because when it starts, releasing thunder and lightning like that, it means the rain is actually coming to an end. That's what it means. All right, this is a very lovely morning in the Federal Capital Territory. My name is Ekene Ezepue, and this is Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja, your darling station. Good to have you this morning. Good to have you this morning on Week Time with Ekene Ezepue. Like you know, Week Time with Ekene Ezepue is a weekly tonic. All right, so make sure that every weekend, every Saturday morning, 10 a.m., you make sure you always be part of it. All right, let's set the ball rolling right now. We have a lot going on in the political sphere of Nigeria, and we want to be talking about it. A lot has happened, and we are watching all the events that are unfolding, and whatever that is happening, just count on us on 93.7 Citizen FM that you will always be the first to know. All right, yeah, that's a promise. That's a promise, and we'll always keep our promise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very wonderful, fantastic public affairs analyst. I'll be analyzing this critical moment that we are in Nigeria right now, because election that is forthcoming is actually a very serious matter in the lives of Nigerians, and we can afford not to get it right this time around, because the problem of this country is actually leadership. We don't have natural disasters and all that. What we have here is leadership disaster. That's the fact. So we are gearing towards another round of election coming up, and we can't afford to make another disastrous mistake as electorates. All right, so we'll be discussing the events leading towards 2023 general election, and we have a very fantastic public affairs analyst, Oboli Stephen, that will be doing justice. Oboli Stephen, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Ekene.
Yeah.
How was your week?
My week went well. We thank God. Ups and downs, and God was always in the middle of it all. So, thank God. Good to have you this morning.
Good morning.
All right, we have a lot going on in the political space.
Yes.
A lot. A whole lot. All right, let's start. Everybody's trying. We've had prophets prophesying. We've had a whole lot of people, public affairs analysts, saying it's going to be a make or mar. Election, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. Do you believe that this forthcoming election is going to be a make or mar for Nigeria?
Every election is a make or mar, because you either make somebody or mar somebody. But the characteristics of the Nigerian electoral system has thrown up a lot of challenge now, meaning that people have become more involved, more interested, and seemingly because of the upping of the ante at INEC with the beavers, and we're now shifting ground to a more credible system of election. People seem to have internalized that they must participate. At the last count, we have over 89, 92 million thereabout. Let's just put the number at 85, because at the end of the house cleaning, based on what First Sukoe published on Tuesday, that there's going to be further going through the register and removing double registration or inaccurate registration and what have you. Well, at the end of the day, have about
just to correct the anomalies.
Yeah, the anomalies. We at the end of the day have about 88 to 89 million registered voters, good to go for the next round of election 2023. So it is quite a time to be a Nigerian. It's quite a time to want to participate, and going by those statistics released and other things, it's going to be a very well thought out political era. We hope the political parties themselves will be able to rise to the occasion, because it is actually the political parties that begin to incite incisive discourse and begin to instigate. The word instigation is not in the wrong parlance, because people feel that instigation is wrong. It is not actually. To instigate means that you infuse into people the desire to participate. So the job of a political party, first of all, is to create awareness. Secondly, to instigate that awareness towards following its candidates or candidature or its political party. And so we hope the four major political parties will rise to the occasion. That is APC, PDP, Labour Party, and the NNPP, rise to the occasion to make Nigerians join in the discourse, join in the activity of election.
Okay, now, you talked about instigation, and we know that most of these leaders, these aspiring leaders, they have huge followers, you know. So you cannot downplay what their followers can do at a certain point in time.
Yes.
You know, so this election is actually coming up. To God be the glory. But the leaders, don't you think that they are supposed to be campaigning towards a very positive direction, trying to call their followers to order that these and that are what you should be doing, that even after election, that even if I don't emerge the winner, that please, that you people should still maintain peace and tranquility? Don't you think that when the campaign band rolls out, that's what these leaders should be telling the populace or the electorate?
I'm very happy. One of the presidential aspirants has already said it should be an issues-based politicking. That reminds me of the earlier times in the late 70s when people came and did the issue of politics without bitterness. That was Waziri Ibrahim. And he came out with that dictum, he came out with that slogan, politics without bitterness. Now, the current trend, and I think that's what you're saying, is the politics of bitterness. People have gone and become ethnocentric. They have become religiously biased. They have become highly sentimental. And they have now become, there's no ideology, because a lot of the issues that are being raised for any country, not only Nigeria, to develop, to get out of the quagmire it finds itself, there must be an ideology. We take Indonesia, we take Malaysia, we take Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew and the rest. There must be an ideological basis. But the issue we have, and the worrisome challenge, is that the persons who have brought themselves up for politics in Nigeria, very few have an ideological basis. They are emergency politicians, and they are politicians for the pocket and their stomach infrastructure, unfortunately. And that is a dangerous recipe for the national development. But I am happy that one of the political aspirants, even when he went to US, started talking about issues-based and used his name and the name of his vice presidential candidate to call out what they want to do. Yes, APC did something very interesting during the week, and PDP also. PDP in Lagos during the week launched their policy book and had an outing for it and invited for the Nigerian press, the journalists, and they had an interaction with the Guild of Editors and all of that. That's a good one. Also, APC has their political philosophy and their policy outline. Also, they did something in that region last week. And so I think that a lot needs to be done. The political actors and the gladiators ought to sit down and carve out a niche for themselves within the milieu and look at things holistically. Let us know who is for industrialization, and let's know those that are for commercialization. Let's know those that are for revigorating democracy. Let's know those that are for education. Let's know those that are for health sector. Let's know, because in every system, let's take America, where we borrowed it from, this presidential system we're now running. You know what the Republican Party stands for, and you know what the Democratic Party stands for. But here we have multi-party democracies, people running around, many of them with the same ideology. And what is the ideology? Play on the intent and the purposes of Nigerians and get power and use it the way you like. There's no ideology that I am going to be infrastructure-based. Take the times of Awolowo. It was free education. Take the time of Shagari MPN. It was Green Revolution and Operation Feed the Nation that took over, and Green Revolution of Shagari. And it was about, even the mascot of the party was corn. And you know it's food they are talking about. Then at the time, you had UPN. You had Nnamdi Azikiwe's political party, NPP. And then you knew what they stood for. and what they were talking about. SEP was more about social crusading, social and all of that. Why Awo saw the deficit in education, and then he started show the light, and the light, darkness will depart. And what is the light? Education. His own was, let's get people educated. And education resonated with everybody because they could now see the benefit of education. They saw that people will come out and get jobs. They saw that the beauty of it. Why the issue of the agrarian north was the issue of food and food security. It resonated with the farmers and the 70% population who were in the rural areas. So immediately it sold. But here we have people that are not selling agriculture. They are not selling renewable energy. They are not selling the issue of oil and gas and the issues of what have you. All they are selling is a Muslim, is a Muslim. He's a Christian, he's a Christian. He's Igbo, he's Hausa, he's Yoruba, he's minority.
And that's
very dangerous.
That's identity politics that we're talking about.
But the identity politics is misplaced. The identity politics should be an identity of good and not of bad. But the identity politics, unfortunately, of Nigeria is that this man is my enemy. This man is my friend. This one is not trustworthy. This one cannot. And so in the identity politics, we must get it right. Identity is not wrong in itself. It is how you play it that becomes the issue. Where you now begin to castigate certain persons based on their lineage, based on their tribe, based on their tongue, it's not. So that is my...
Okay.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people have said that this tongue lashing at opponents and all that they are all part of politics.
Yes, it's open mic. It's an open mic competition. It's like people rapping. But
the followers, they receive it in a different way.
Yes, that is why I made the point that the persons should be deeply rooted in the ideology, so that even when they tongue lash from a basis. There must be a fundamental base. If you go to the Marxist theory of pyramidal hierarchical order, whether you are on top there as the leader, there must be a base. And the fundamental basis should not be what aligns you to your tongue lashing and the identity politics you're talking about, so that people can now resonate with your ideology. Like I said, regardless of whatever you said about him, everybody knew what he stood for. It was, this man will give us good education. This man will make health facilities work. This man has built universities even when he was a premier. And this man will do this man will do that. And so it was easy to idealize and put in perspective.
All right. This week, Atiku Abubakar was speaking at the Lagos State Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and he made some certain statements regarding the government of the day.
Yes.
That they are living on a borrowed
time
and all that, and you know. So
and he even said that they have been acting so woefully that winning them is so easy. But I call those still grandstanding.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Because when the opinion post came out a day after that, it showed that he's a distant third, although with a little variation.
Oh, consider.
Yes. so he is the one that has a lot of work to do. Actually,
you mean he has a lot of work to do?
Yes, the PDP has.
Well, the way things are playing out, it's as if things are working out for PDP.
Things have always worked out for PDP's favor. PDP is the oldest on-ground political party right now, because APC was only crafted in the last 10 years after CPC and all the mergers. So at the end of the day, PDP is actually the pan-Nigerian party. But it is not being used.
If APC does anything wrong, PDP will smile. They will when they make the choice of
yes, because
Muslim tickets, they started smiling.
Yes, because PDP is
working out in their favor
as the opposition party. However, as the opposition party, a third force has cropped up, and that third force seems to be where people are even putting and vexing their anger, and where they are gravitating towards, and where they are articulating, and where at the end of the day all the cacophony of noise seems to be melting at that point.
Okay.
and that's the Labour Party. So you find that it's no longer business as usual for PDP. It's either Atiku ups his game or the tides and the waves will go so fast.
Okay, the tide and the wave will go so fast. And that's the word of Ogboli Stephen, a public affairs analyst and a radio host as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be discussing about the poll that shows presidential candidate Nigerians will vote for in 2023. Yeah, we a poll by NOI polls commissioned by ANAP Foundation, a non-governmental organization, has revealed that the presidential candidate Nigeria will vote for in 2023. In a report by Premium Times, it was gathered from the result of the poll that most Nigerians want Peter Obi, the standard bearer of the Labour Party, to become the next president of Nigeria. The poll shows that Nigerians want Peter Obi as president, whereas the election was majorly about Obi, Atiku, People's Democratic Party, and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu of All Progressive Congress, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of New Nigeria People's Party. You see the pecking order of all
yes.
This. Now going
very interesting.
Very, very interesting. That was what happened there.
Labour Party came 21% of the voting population.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for this. You see, in politics, there's what you call the demographics. And demographics at times cuts across ethnic, religious barriers. The voting population of Nigeria, which is 52%,
okay,
are less than the age of 34. They are between 34 and 18%. And that was what this poll showed. Now, that voting population is 52%, and they are 34 years down to 18. And that is the bulk. They can easily win the election when you have 52%. Now, you now have the other percentage, 34 to 50, which comes the 25% mark. You add 25 to that 52%. Now, you now find that those that are 50 and above are a miserly 23%, and which is so low, 22%. Now, actually, the people that make or mar are the voting population that are more in number. However, there is the issue of opinion molders, opinion holders, and opinion influencers. Okay. And that category of opinion molders, opinion influencers fall within the age bracket of 60 to 70. Ironically, smaller in number, but that number of people, our grandparents, our fathers, the leaders in society, because Nigeria is having, going by statistics, leadership of people 60 and above, because 90% of the time it is when people have retired from public service that they join politics. And they begin to join at the age of 56, 57 to 60 and above, and then 70 and there. So we don't grudge them for that. Now, at that era, they become opinion molders. They begin to become the eyes that people are looking at. They are the leaders, both religiously and in secular world, and they are the captains of industry and the owners of the wealth that you need to galvanize resources for you to win an election. So the owners of the wealth are the ones that finally determine how these 52, 54% of people who are 34 years down go, because they look up to them as leaders. However, there is a challenge here. The challenge is the introduction of telephones, which have become a new fad, which has now made people to go into what you call pinging and sending text messages, YouTube, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all the social media platforms. Now, the dissemination of information that can go around 10 million people can happen in 30 minutes, no longer like before.
30 minutes.
In 30 minutes, from sharing message, before you know, one person share to a group, the other group, the other group. In any time you are on your
I think it moves faster than that.
Yeah, in 30 minutes. Anyway.
30 minutes. Okay, approximately. Okay.
Anytime you are on WhatsApp and they now show you shared so many, forwarded so many times, that shows that WhatsApp means that message has been shared to 15 million people. The algorithm that shows you forwarded many times means it has hit the 50 million threshold
mark.
And I'm sure almost every day you check your phone, you see forwarded many times. That means it has hit a 50 million threshold, which is huge.
That's a whole lot.
That's a whole lot. So now we have this issue, and therefore the voting population based on demographics is a little bit convoluted at the moment. Okay. But going by the statistics used by NOI, and they use issues of gender, they use the issues of age, they use the issue of location, and then because they use it state by state. And then they now broke down state by state to zones, 6 geopolitical zones: northeast, northwest, north central, south, southeast, southwest. And so they used the 6 geopolitical zones, and they came up with what they came up. At the end of the day, surprisingly, even in Adamawa and Borno State, where Atiku should be reigning supreme, he was not. And then but it's also a very good one, because it now means that all the political parties should study this and begin to work assiduously to see how they can emerge. One of the reasons why we don't do so well in World Cup and in games is because we do this brinkmanship, last-minute affair. This is the time where these political parties should sell their products. By selling their products, it's not bag of beans, bag of rice, and vegetable oil, and 2,000 naira and granules, which I'm seeing on social media. All right, selling their products should be ideology, resource-based ideology, and issues-based arguments.
Okay, FFK, Femi Fani-Kayode, has come out to
our former minister.
Our former minister of aviation.
I don't want to go to his matter, but go ahead. I'm listening.
He has come out to to belittle the online poll.
I saw his comment,
and he said that P2B is actually a social media president. How do you react?
I pity Femi Fani-Kayode. There are reasons why. Personally, he's a brilliant mind, Oxford, Cambridge trained. I believe him to be a very resourceful person. I like his elocution when he speaks English. He is quite good. He shows that the money spent on him by his peers and family was not a waste. However, politically, FFK is seeking for notice, and he's a political orphan. The job given to Festus Keyamo should have been given to him. But because he has too many baggage, it can't be given to him. The other job that should have
do you have any evidence?
I am coming.
Okay.
I am coming.
All right.
A political baggage in the analysis of politics is not only that the person is being paraded by EFCC or has pending cases. The issue is, what can he generate without animosity? FFK seemed to not know his place in politics, so he played it wrongly. In the last ministerial, he could not be given any ministerial slot to fill up vacuums. I thought that they were even taking back to transport, since he had been...
Do you have evidence to this effect?
Yes, I am coming.
Okay.
Well, I thought they would have even given him a political portfolio. Nothing was given. Now they are sharing it at the political party level, even for him to be media and all of that. Nothing is given. Then he's now, even in the Tinubu campaign council itself, nothing is still given to him. He's just there. Therefore, he's like the proverbial bat. He's neither a mammal, that is neither a bird or a fish or what have you. He's hybrid, and a bat, always faces downward. So he's facing downward on a tree. So I don't know for him, but what I know is that he's a political orphan. He's a very good material, but nobody knows where to use him. Maybe a time will come, they will find a place to use him, because he's not the chief press secretary, neither is he the public affairs officer, neither was he given director of campaign. Unfortunately, it's given to Governor Lalonga and all of that. And I think they would have even given it to Femi Fani-Kayode, who I think has more energy to do the run around and all of that. But then he wasn't giving. So the pundits must have checked and seen that. And an inconsistency. The other day he was in PDP, swore that he would, that if he enters another party, he will die. He will die here. It's not given.
Every other politicians have done that.
Yes, but in his own case, it was more unique. He televised his own. Variously.
All right. We have a whole lot of other things to talk about, but just make sure you stay glued to your radio set, all right? We'll be coming back with more and more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take this one. It's coming from Bungo's Igwe. He called this one Cockroach at Dawn. And you're still on your darling program, We Time with Ekene Ezepue, on your darling station, 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep going. We're still discussing the issues regarding or going forward to 2023 election and a whole lot of other things that are surrounding it. All right, now we're still with our guest Oboli Stephen, a public affairs analyst, and we're still talking. We want to talk about the issue of ASU.
Yes.
You know, no matter how we pretend that it doesn't matter, it will still play a very key role in this forthcoming election if it continues.
Yes.
And right now, it doesn't seem it doesn't seem so nice because the federal government and ASU are already
they are got to
industrial court.
Yes.
And this is what Nigerians have been, talking against, preaching against. Don't let this thing get to get to court, because when it gets to court, we don't even know who will win. There will be a loser and there will be a winner, and nobody knows. And the future of Nigerian young lads, students, hang in the balance at the moment. What do you think that Nigerians will be the outcome of this whole thing might look like? Industrial courts, ASU, federal government.
Well, the issue, first of all, is very simple. We all are products of Nigerian universities, and we can attest to how the facilities were at the time we were there. I left University of Benin about 29 years ago, there about 27 years ago. And I cannot tell you that there'd been a lot of, there were some interventions. I went to the university some time back and I saw new amphitheaters and lecture halls and all of that. But the quality of resource is what ASU is first of all talking about. Now, in this short strike, 6 months, 7 months, and let's not forget, this is not the first time we're going on strike. Remember, we had a strike at the time on the issue of, just when I was about leaving, of Abacha and the June 12th issue. And about a year, students lost going to school. Now, what they are talking about, you must take it and posit it based on each of the templates and the heading. Just yesterday, I looked at a very worrisome post by a lecturer in Ahmadu Bello University. He was applying for a foreign fellowship, and he typed area of study, and they gave him. He typed basic salary, and the basic salary for any university lecturer anywhere in the world is $2,000. And what is $2,000 in our current salary structure in Nigeria? He could not find any place for his earnings because as a senior lecturer, he was not captured there. But luckily, under it, there's a place they wrote orders, and he typed the amount that he earns. And then I asked him, what is your total emolument at the end of a year? And he typed his total minimum wage, what he earns at the end of the year. Now, when he did that, the platform he was enrolling in an American university could not accommodate him because his earnings cannot even accommodate him to the point of getting a visa, because he must be able to earn up to $2,000 to be able to qualify for that scholarship and that internship in the university and for the academic qualification he's looking for. So he did not measure up to. So that is one. Two is the fact that in itself now made him to become a little bit delusional and worried. If he is not, and you remember there's a Briggs committee, Professor Lulu Briggs, former VC of Uniport, they set up a committee, and then he came up and told them, any lecturer, you are not paying up to 1.2 million monthly, and a professor 2.5 million, you're not helping them. And that amount, let me give people the funny aspect of it. If you bring a lecturer from another country who is earning better, we used to have Indians, Pakistani, Filipino, we had people from UK, US, everywhere, in all the universities. I know of the time at the University of Benin, you will find on the campus a lot of white persons and other people from African countries as lecturers. In fact, there was a time the Dean of Faculty of Law in University of Benin at the time we got there was Ofori Amankwa.
We no longer see such.
Yes, he was a Ghanaian. Now, can you actually attract, if at the University of Legon he's earning $6,000, will you bring the same person to come to University of Benin and pay him less than $2,000? He will not come. And okay, if you now bring him and then you now decide to pay him expatriate quota money. Is that not being apartheid? That's you are now causing division in the ranks of ASU, because the moment he comes in and you start paying him a different salary from what obtains on ground, you have created a division. So the only way to help ASU in the first instance is when their remunerations and their salary. I watched a very worrisome video on people and members of House of Reps were going after PENCOM and the public hearing, and she said they pay 29 billion naira yearly as emoluments. And they said, no, how is that possible? Well, she even broke it down, it came to 12 billion. And they said, how is that possible? That means that the least paid staff in your employ monthly gets at least 1 million naira, even a driver. So there's a lot of funny things happening, fraud that is not necessary. We have too many leakages. Now,
from the ASU side or from the federal government side? Or?
From the federal government side.
Okay.
You have told them to go on IPPIS, you pay them. On the same IP's platform, an Accountant General of Federation takes over 200 million. So the monies you are trying to garner, the same monies are leaking. And it's the same people that you told to discuss with ASU modes of payment. No wonder the Accountant General didn't want to agree that system will work. Because if he had agreed and they say go ahead and now pay, the monies that would have been paid had already been consumed by them. So we have a systemic system that is built and geared to fail from the outset. Now, a lot need to be done. They now brought the UTAS platform and showed them. They started rigmaroling, writing letters up and down and all of that. That is enough to be annoying. Let me explain the simple side.
But is it not a situation of an employee detecting for the employer?
Let me explain the simple psychology of ASU. Ekene is my student. I taught him everything he knows. He goes to government to work for me based on what I taught him while he was in the four walls of the educational institution. Now, 10 years after, he has become a chief admin officer. I am still a senior lecturer. I have not even been made a professor. I've been publishing works and all of that. One of the reasons why the university cannot make me a professor is that the carrying capacity for professorship. If I make him a professor, I must pay him a professorial fee and a professorial salary and all the emoluments and entitlements of a professor. So the universities become bottom heavy so that they are not graduating people to the level of professorship. You find people stagnated at a level 15 years from senior lecturer before they become professor. And it's simple maths. If they do, they can't pay. The governing councils now every time step it down. Now this man now becomes a director tomorrow. He calls me to his office at Federal Ministry of Education and says, Oga, you trained me, yes, but I cannot pay you what you're asking for. And then you ask him a simple question: why can't you pay me? The education I gave you, was it bad? You said no. The facilities I offer, was it bad? You said no. I still train Nigeria trains a doctor at the cheapest amount anywhere in the universe, not the world now, the universe. The doctors are trained at less than 1 million naira for 5 years. If you break it down per head, it's unbelievable. While in the same medical profession he has excelled, the whole British health sector is run by Nigerians. The American health sector run by Nigeria. The Canadian health sector run by Nigeria. The Australian health sector run by Nigeria. The New Zealander health sector run by Nigeria. That is huge. When Nigerians are giving good account of themselves, even with the facility available, it therefore means that these people have given their all. It is remaining for them to drain their blood and put into people's mouth to drink. Therefore, I am of the opinion that government is not being fair to them. Now, there are people working in other organizations, blue chip government organizations, FIRS, NNPC. We just talked about NNPC this morning, and all of that. And they are earning huge amounts of money. Yet, the people that train them are still on the same basic salary they were when they were their students. It does not begin to add up. Now, these same people, you want them to be globally competitive. University is about competition. We are not in the first 100 universities worldwide. None of the Nigerian universities. I dare say, even the private and the public. Now, we are not in the first 500 worldwide. We start counting from the first 600 universities. That is not very good. There was a time when the first 20 universities of the world, Nigeria was in the first 10.
What are we going to be doing now? Because already the problem is here with us. The ASU strike is lingering on, and
government must come off.
And the government and the ASU, they are already in the court.
Yes.
Yeah. How do we get out?
Government must come down from its high horse, negotiate a mean. We must have a short-term, a mid-term, and a long-term plan, and graduate it and do the needful.
We have a caller, Mr. Okay. Boli. Let's. Hello. Who is on the line, please?
Sir.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing this morning?
Fine. City Olusola calling from Karu.
No, Mr. Olushola, please go ahead.
Thank you. God bless you and God bless your guest. He's
Thank
doing
you.
the analysis very, very well.
Thank you very much.
To me, first of all, on issue of politics, I think Nigerians themselves, the electorate, the voters, they don't even know the difference between development and infrastructure and other infrastructures. We easily judge any government with stomach infrastructures. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
No matter what any state governor, any local government, any national government do, if the stomach infrastructure is not taking care, which is a trend, which is going to be growing normally, but the citizens have to even know what is development first. Maybe to create employment, to do this thing. That's why those people, they are giving or not issue-based campaign. When somebody wants to say past government, say, don't you know how much they are selling rice so time? That's one side of it. The issue of...
Is that what you mean by stomach infrastructure?
Infrastructure. Many of us, that's what we have to reorientate ourselves. See, this is what we work on government. This is what you want. Do this thing before we can even progress. Even the citizens, the followers. That's why this government, these politicians, they are riding on us. That's first thing. On issue of salary of the ASU, I think the system, they have to do a lot of harmonization, as you have said.
Okay.
They have to deploy many agencies that even doing a lot of copying themselves. If you check the civil servants, like the core civil servants, the new graduate is no more than 60-something thousand.
Yeah.
Where we have many parastatals, they are collecting what director of ministry is collecting as a level 10, as a level 12.
Yeah.
So there is no balance in all these things. And when all these lecturers, they are even looking at politicians, that's another issue. Because if everybody want to step down, do down duty in Nigeria, many things will get wrong.
Yeah.
But many things they have to restructure so that we can get ourselves. It's not only to lecturer, but many agencies. There's a guy that I was even giving money when he was schooling. When he gets a lecturer job, he's collecting more than times two of what I'm collecting as a government worker. So there are many unbalancing systems as your status, which we need to look at.
Yeah.
May God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olushola. Thank you so very much. All right, Mr. Boli, can you respond to this? He pointed out a whole lot.
Yes. What he has said is very, very germane. First of all, like he has talked about the issues-based aspect I raised earlier on. We must go back to the basis. We must know what actually a political party is for and what a political party should do and a template of a political party and follow it religiously. Beyond that, we should come to the issue of National Income and Salaries Wages Commission and the issue of parity between salary structures. One of the things government should do is delegitimize the issue of blue collar in any sector. While I agree, like certain agencies must follow international norms. Some things people do not know. Like oil and gas must follow oil and gas salary structures. Aviation must follow IATA standards. Otherwise, the accreditation for our airports and the rest will not go. Because there are some people at some of the agencies that work with the airport, FAN, NAN, and all of that. There are some people that are there that are earning some salaries. If I tell you, you'll be surprised. How come a person can earn 5 million naira a month? But if he's a commercial pilot and now he's managing the air traffic control systems for you, he's going to be paid what an air traffic controller is paid internationally. So his basic salary might be 50,000, but the commissions and all the other perks that come with the job raise his salary back to that. Now, knowing that that is a fact, we must come to the point where we begin to agree what is the living wage, and what is the minimum wage, and what is the national standard. You take that vis-a-vis the growth components of the economy. What is one, the absorptive capacity of the economy and the developmental idea of government. Then you now get a mean, and then you benchmark it with a salary. That was what happened when they did the Udoji Awards in 1974-75. After the Udoji Awards, there was supposed to be 2 other awards or 2 other salary and all of that. One of them was the one I think was under IBB. The other one came again under Abacha. Now, each of those policies of government were supposed to better equip and do better for salary earners and all of that. Even Nigeria National Income and Salary Wages Commission. But a lot of things have happened. The economy has imploded because we're not producing. Our gross domestic product and our gross national product has remained one, monoculture, oil. We have not been able to exit production of raw material to the development and beneficiation of our industries. So we do not have the money to meet certain needs. However, the problem is not even the money, it's a problem of leakages in the system. Leakage is like a bucket with 1 million holes. So you fetch it out and it keeps draining from all sorts. I just gave an example with even an accountant general, somebody who is supposed to keep our monies for us and give it to us when we need it in tandem with the Central Bank of Nigeria, can leak out over 100 million plus that that's the one that I've been able to trace. It's unfortunate. And the person is going around in court and speaking grammar. There should be something more drastic done. So if you tell us who are looking for just 3 billion to bail out the education system in the first instance, and 9 billion graduated in 3 years, you should see their demands, and overwhelmingly 100 billion in 5 years. It's not too much to ask for if one person can pocket 100 million. So the leakages in the system is what government should look at. Then there's the issue of compliance, the education tax. Third fund, yes, but third fund can do more. Then the education tax, there's need for them to go after those that should pay education tax. There are issues that have to do with other sectors of generation of wealth.
Our time is actually fast spent.
Yes.
Now, what I want you to in a nutshell, how to just put a word out there, telling the federal government and ASU how to sheath their sword.
How to sheath their sword, federal government, is to mop up funds in this last quarter of the year. Because based on appropriation, we have only implemented 47% of our budget for this year. And forward money to the coffers for ASU to be able to offtake again. It's like a car that parks for a long time. When you want to restart the engine, you must overhaul. Therefore, when that is done, ASU will, in good faith, call off their strike. But you have not met them at any point. What you told them is no work, no pay. And they have explained to you that the education sector is not like other sectors. They must supervise.
They have to go back to where they started
and continue.
And
you
continue
do not
from
jump
there, and you have to pay for that,
the backlog,
so that the backlog will not be that.
So it is not the same.
Will not remain void. Yeah.
So,
all right.
Government should do something.
Yeah, they should neglect that no work, no pay stuff and face the reality on the ground. Thank you so very much, Mr. Oboli Stephen, a public affairs analyst, for coming on We Time with Ekene Ezepue this morning.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, our listeners out there. Remember that We Time with Ekene Ezepue will hit you again next week, Saturday, 10 a.m. So try as much as you can to be part of it. Thank you, and that's much we can take on We Time with Ekene Ezepue this morning. Continue listening to all our programming on 93.7 Citizen FM. Bye for now.